If it feels like you are working harder than you've ever worked in your entire life, maybe you're a service provider, maybe you're an online coach of some kind, maybe you're an aspiring course creator, and it feels like you are constantly creating content and your sales are barely moving, or even if you are successful, quote unquote, and you have sales and you have a business that's making money, it feels like your business can't grow without you. You are an active participant. And if you were to step away from your business for any length of time, your sales would suffer. My hope is that this video is going to be a breath of fresh air for you. I want to show you a smarter and simpler way to run an online business so that you aren't constantly creating content for social media, no time consuming podcasting or blogging. You don't have to hop on sales call after sales call, and you don't have endless live launches or live promotions of any kind. What I'm going to share with you inside of this video is a behind the scenes look at my fully automated online course business model. And it doesn't just work for me. I'm going to share tons of testimonials and case studies where I have shared this exact same system with my students, and they've taken it, they've implemented it, and they have seen amazing success to where they are able to grow their online course business without being actively involved. So by the end of this entire video, you are going to have a perfect glimpse into what this business model looks like and how you can make this happen for yourself. My hope is that you have a ton of inspiration, encouragement, and hope that you can actually make this happen for yourself. But before we dive in, I want to take a minute to introduce myself, because maybe this is the first time that you've ever watched one of my videos. Maybe I'm a complete stranger to you. So if that's you, if we are meeting for the very first time virtually, then welcome. I'm super excited that you're here. My name is Dylan King. I am a full-time business coach and course creator. I launched my online business almost 10 years ago now, which is crazy to think. But I used to be in corporate finance, working a stable 9 to 5. And I decided one day I just didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to wake up 40 years from now after clocking in and clocking out, working a 40-hour week where I also commuted to and from work, and wake up in 40 years and realize that I completely wasted my life. I spent all of my time at my career and not with the people that I love, doing the things that I love. I'm super family oriented, and I wanted to build a business that prioritized my family so I could be a husband and a father that was present and active in my family's life. And so I decided to launch an online coaching business. That's where I first started with my online business. And I had early success. A lot of things were going right, and I was signing clients and good things were happening. But I started to feel the same way that I felt in my corporate finance job. I started to feel stuck. And it was because I was spending all of my time doing one of two things. And if you have a successful business right now, then you know what this feels like. There's this dark side of a successful online business that not a lot of people are talking about, where you are actively required to show up to keep the business going. You have to, number one, spend a ton of time finding new clients. You're posting on social media, you're being active in Facebook groups, you're hosting webinars, you're hopping on sales calls. So you're doing all these time-consuming activities to make the sale. And then after you make the sale, you have to show up and you have to help your paying clients get the results that you promised them. And let's be honest, the reason why you want a successful online business is because you want time freedom and financial freedom. But right now, if you stopped working, you'd stop making money because your business requires you to show up. This is the time-consuming trading time for money model that most entrepreneurs are using right now to make money online. And it leads to one of two options. You either settle with the amount of income that you make and the amount of impact that you have on the world, because you can only take on a certain number of clients. So you say, you know what, I'm going to be happy with the income that I'm making right now. I'm not going to take on more clients, and I choose to have a balanced life. I want to be present with my kids and with my spouse, and I want to do the things that I love to do. Okay, well, that's great, but you're capping the amount of money that you can make. And even if you're like, okay, maybe one way I can increase my income is I can charge more, I can increase my rates. Well, there is a cap to the amount of money that someone would be willing to spend to hire you. So at some point, you are going to have an income cap. The other option is you can say, you know what, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to sign all these clients and I'm going to take them all on and make all this money. Well, eventually that's just going to lead to burnout, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day and you can only do so much. Even if you decide to hire people, outsource things, maybe have coaches working underneath you, you're still managing people, right? You still have new headaches that are popping up. And so the only two options here with this old model is you either cap your income or you work more hours and you burn out. So if you are stuck in your online business and you want a consistent, reliable stream of leads that all have a painful problem that you know how to solve and money to throw at that problem, and they're serious about making a change and they're already pre-sold on you and your solution, and And you want to do that without constantly posting on social media, without sending cold DMs or spammy messages, without wondering where your next sale is going to come from. Then it might be time to switch to a fully automated online course business model. So I'm going to share the entire model with you, 30,000 foot view, and then we're going to get into the weeds so that you can see by the end of this video, you're going to understand how it all works. And hopefully you are going to start believing in your ability to make this happen for yourself. So it all starts with generating leads, right? In order to make a sale, you have to have a steady flow of leads. Now, keep in mind, before we get into it, everything I'm about to share with you is the final version, what it looks like when all is said and done. There is different steps that you'll need to take to actually build this out in a specific chronological order, and it's super important, but this is what the finished version will look like. So you have your organic content over here, and this is optional. You're posting content because you want to, not because you need to, but you are also running ads, and you're running ad traffic to a landing page. And you have two different options. You can either run ad traffic to a free gift. You're collecting a name and email address in exchange for the free training or the free gift that you're giving them. Or you can run ad traffic to a low ticket landing page. And then at checkout, they can add an order bump. They can add some upsells to their order. So that is how you're generating leads on autopilot. Next is the lead nurture system. This is how you're nurturing the new leads on your email list. So you're adding people to your email list with your paid ads, and those email subscribers are going through an email sequence, a pre-written series of emails that are dripped out to them over the course of days and weeks. Now, inside of some of those emails, you might optionally have a call to action where they can go chat with you in your DMs. This is optional, but it does increase conversions. It doesn't need to take a ton of your time. So this is a good option, but it's not required. And then you have the lead conversion system. So you can also be sending the people that are getting your emails to a sales page or optionally to a sales call. Again, it increases conversions, but it's not required. Most of your traffic will be going to the sales page for your high ticket offer, and then they go to the checkout and they make the purchase. So you're making these sales on autopilot with ads through an email sequence to a pre-written sales page, and then they purchase your premium offer. And the premium offer, the value delivery system, is going to be your online course. And this is an online course that can replace a one-on-one coaching service. So it's a premium online course. You have the option to also have some sort of coaching offer on top for the people that are willing to spend that money to get access to you, or if you're willing to give access to you, but you don't have to. The fully automated system, you could just have a premium online course, and you're allowing your students to get massive results because they're going through a self-study version of the same exact solution that you're giving to your coaching clients. So you know that it works, you know that it gets results. You inject those results back into your marketing with amazing case studies. And then you can also take a percentage of the sales that you make, percentage of your profits, and you reinvest it back into ads. This is an entire sales machine that can take a complete stranger that you're attracting with a paid ad. So you're not even spending your time to attract that lead. Take a complete stranger, turn them into someone who has an intense desire to purchase your program. And then even after the sale, they can get results without talking with you. So everything can be completely automated. Now, most of the time, the biggest questions that I get revolve around the lead generation system. So I want to show you what some of the numbers might look like if you're running ads to a freebie offer, if you're optimizing for leads. So these are some just example numbers, but it'll give you an idea of what it might look like. Let's say your goal is you want $100,000 in sales and you have a $1,000 course. Remember, this is a premium offer. We're solving a really big problem for your audience. In order to hit $100,000 in sales, you're going to need 100 course sales. We're going to make an assumption here because typically between 1 and 3% of new email subscribers end up purchasing your premium offer inside of an email sequence. But for this example, we're just going to assume 1% on the low side of things. So a 1% conversion rate. And in order to have 100 course sales at a 1% conversion rate, we're going to need 10,000 new email subscribers to be joining your list. It might sound like a lot, but we're also talking about $100,000 in sales. The numbers can be smaller if that feels more realistic and attainable for you right now in your business. We're going to make another assumption as well. Typically between $1 and $5 cost per lead is good. And so we're going to assume that you really have your ads dialed in and you have a $2 cost per lead. So every time you spend $2 in ads, you get someone on your email list. And so in order to get 10,000 email subscribers, because we're working backwards here, at a $2 cost per lead, we're going to need to spend $20,000 in ads. But because we're spending those $20,000 in ads, it's going to give us $100,000 in course sales. And there's a 5 times return on ad spend. So that's how it might look if you're running ad traffic to a free gift. Now let's talk about the low ticket funnel option. So if you decide to run your ad traffic and you're optimizing for sales for a low ticket offer, then this is what it could look like. Let's just say for this example, we are running your ad traffic to a $10 gateway offer. That's that first offer that they see right when they click on your ad, a $10 offer. And then there's a $50 order bump. We're going to say 20% of everyone who buys your first offer adds that $50 order bump. We're going to say 6% also add a $100 upsell. And then we're going to have another upsell for $200. We're going to say 2% will add that to their order. And then with a $30 cost per purchase and a $3,000 ad budget, and also on top of that, we have on the back end a $2,000 premium course with a 3% conversion rate. So this is what this might look like if we run these numbers. You spend $3,000, and with a $30 cost per purchase, you're going to have 100 people buying that initial $10 offer. And so upfront, you're going to be collecting $1,000 in cash on day one right away. And then with our order bump and our upsells, we're collecting a total of $3,000 cash collected immediately. And so we're able to completely offset the $3,000 that we spent in ads. And in general, this is the strategy. This is what you're supposed to be able to achieve with a low ticket funnel where you're running ads to it. It's just a way to collect leads for free and without posting content organically. Because then on the back end, those 100 buyers are going through your email sequence, and with a 3% conversion rate and a $2,000 course on the back end with your premium offer, you're going to collect another $6,000 in course sales. And so when all is said and done, you're collecting $9,000 in sales, you spent $3,000, that's a $6,000 profit and a 3 times return on ad spend. So that's a 30,000 foot view of how the business model works. Now, the beautiful thing is that when everything is set up correctly and you're hitting all the right numbers, then it's just a matter of being able to scale your ads profitably. And the key to scaling your ads profitably is to be able to increase your ad spend while keeping your cost per result constant. So that's literally how you triple sales. You just spend 3 times as much and keep all of the numbers the same. You don't let your costs spike. You don't let your conversions drop. But if you're able to keep everything constant and triple your ad spend, then you're tripling your sales. And this is when it gets super exciting because your income is detached from the amount of time that you spend in your business. And so if you're a disciplined reinvestor, that's what I always tell my students, be a disciplined reinvestor. And you take $1,000 in ads, you make everything is working, everything is set up correctly, so you get $5,000 in sales, take a percentage of the profits and reinvest it in the next month. And over the course of a couple different months, you're going to see your sales are going to explode because as long as you can keep all of the variables constant and your costs low, then your sales are just going to increase based on how much you're able to spend inside of your ad campaigns. For over 3 years, the only offers that I had inside of my automated course business were these 4 products. I had 3 low ticket offers, the Automation Bootcamp, Untemplated, and Ads Mastery. And then I had my standalone flagship offer, Launch 1M. Those are the only products that I had inside of my business. You only need 3 to 4 low ticket offers and 1 premium online course to make this work. And the great part about it was I only spent about an hour a day in the day-to-day of my business just to make sure that things were running smoothly. I spent some time in Ads Manager. I spent some time chatting with my one team member. And then I did spend some time in my DMs by choice to help my conversion rates be a little bit higher. And so I was able to turn $196,000 in ad spend into $561,000 in course sales. And then I was also able to take $174,000 in ad spend and turn that into $484,000 in course sales, working less than 10 hours a week. And my income was completely independent from the amount of time that I spent marketing. And one of the main reasons why I was able to do this is because I figured out exactly how to create a low ticket funnel that was profitable. If you can have ads running to a low ticket funnel and you can break even on day one, you're set to go because all of your high ticket sales are pure profit. And one of the keys to making sure that your ad funnel is profitable is to figure out a way for someone who would normally spend $27 on one of your offers to be able to add other things to their order and spend $184. Or for someone who was originally planning on spending $19 on a product to decide to add other things to their order and spend $222. So that's the key. If you can figure out how to have a really desirable low ticket funnel, then everything else runs smoothly and you're able to offset your ad costs and essentially grow your email list with free leads. Now, unfortunately, I've seen a trend in the online space recently over the last couple of years where low ticket funnels have been glorified. And I want to speak into this a little bit because although it might seem like a low ticket funnel is the right place to start to grow your course business, it's actually a trap. because it feels safe, right? You have a $27 ebook, a $35 monthly membership, a $99 online course. It feels like these offers are a great place to start because it's easy to sell. You feel comfortable, way more comfortable than charging $1,000 or more on a premium offer. But the thing is that it's a catch-22 because to hit your income goal, if the only thing that you're offering is a low ticket funnel, then you need to have an insane amount of traffic that you're sending to your low ticket sales pages. But if you're just starting out, you don't have a ton of eyeballs on you and your personal brand. You have a small following. You have a small email list. And so you only have two different options if you are living and dying by a low ticket business model. And that is to post like a madman on social media, which is not sustainable. And even if you do post a ton on social media, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to translate into your following growing or more sales. Or the other option is that you run paid ads to your low ticket offers, but because you don't have a high ticket offer on the back end, you're just breaking even. Remember, a low ticket ad funnel, the whole purpose of it is to be able to break even on day one, to have free leads that you're adding to your email list on repeat constantly, day after day after day. But without a high ticket offer on the back end, you have razor thin margins. So the fully automated course model does not work without a premium offer on the back end. And so the first step to creating a fully automated online course business is to start with launching your premium online course. I love this quote by Tom Brady: "The fish don't just jump in the boat. If you want to catch something, go out there and make it happen." So the first thing you have to do in order to have this fully automated online course business is just to launch your premium online course. There's a high chance that if you're watching this, you've been sitting on a course idea for a really long time. And the very first step is just to get off of your butt and to get this thing launched. Now, just in case you are a little bit hesitant when you hear me say, hey, the key to making passive income with digital products is to start by launching one premium online course. If that scares you, if something comes up where you're like, I don't know if I could create a premium offer, or you don't know if that's the right route for you, then I want to share with you 3 case studies of students that have gone through this exact process, launched a premium online course, and have seen amazing results. So Alex, his background is in high ticket sales. So he has a coaching service that he's sold in the past. Nicole, she used to be in corporate, so she's kind of the 9-to-5 example. And then Sarah, she was a copywriter, so she sold a service. So we have a service provider, we have a 9-to-5er, and then we have a high ticket coach. So for each of them, what they decided to do was go all in and launch their premium online course. Alex went for a beta offer, and within a week, he had a $3,600 course student, a beta student for his online course before he created any content. Same with Nicole. She had a $6,000 beta launch, and she was able to bring her husband home from corporate so he could be a stay-at-home dad. And then since then, she's also resigned from corporate as well. And then Sarah, one of my most successful students, launched a premium offer and made over $1 million in her first 12 months. As a copywriter, she just basically created a course that taught other copywriters how to launch their own business. And so for you, what I want you to see is that this is 100% possible for you. But the first step is to have a premium online course offer. So think about it. What's your income goal? How many course sales a month would you need to make to have a full-time income online as a course creator? For me, it was $10,000 a month. That was my safe number because I felt like when I could make that much money, I was able to justify leaving my 9-to-5. And so even though my journey was not for a premium course, it was for a coaching service, it's the same idea where I went high ticket and I was able to make a full-time income quickly because I didn't need to have a ton of people purchase from me. So if you have a premium online course, you can make a full-time income quickly because all you need to have is a couple students purchase and it's a life-changing amount of income. So if you're curious about what the beta launch process looks like, I put everything that these students did in order to launch their premium online course before they create their online course inside of my beta launch program. It's a 14-day beta launch strategy. And I also am including a bonus in there where if you pick up the beta launch program, you're also going to get a full case study from me where I lay out step-by-step how I scaled a brand new ad campaign from $0 to $299,000 in just 4 months. Okay, so once you have your premium online course, let's say you launch your online course, you have pre-sales, it's validated, you know that it's going to sell. The next step is to build an automated sales system around your online course so that you can sell it on autopilot. Now, I recognize that the word automation has been overused a lot recently. It's become quite a buzzword. Unfortunately, it's lost some of its power. So I want to take a moment to redefine what automation really is. Automation is a simulation of what's already working manually. So if you have manual elements inside of your online business that are working right now, you are generating leads, you're nurturing leads, you're converting leads into sales, you're getting clients results, then you are ready to take what's working manually and start setting up automated systems to be able to do that on autopilot. And the best way that I can explain it is there's something called an automation spectrum. And it's a bunch of different activities in all of the different lead generation, lead nurture, lead conversion, and value delivery systems to where you can do the same thing manually or extremely automated. And I'm going to lay out exactly what that might look like. So let's start with the value delivery. This is what happens after the sale. The most manual option is a done for you service because you're spending all of your time working for your client. Then there's private coaching. You're still spending a ton of your time, but instead of doing the work, your client is doing it themselves. Then there's group coaching, which saves a little bit more time. It's a little bit more automated. And then there's the premium online course, which is a full self-study version to get the job done where they just go through it and you don't have to talk to them at all. These are all very effective and amazing ways to get your students or your clients results. So it's not that one is better, but there is one that's way more time consuming, requires way more of your time that you're sacrificing to get your client results compared to a premium online course. So on the far end of the spectrum of the automation spectrum, a premium online course is the most automated way to deliver the value to your client. Now let's talk about the lead generation system. So there's cold outreach where you're spending a ton of time reaching out individually to one person. A little bit more automated is posting on social media because it's not like you're messaging one person, you're messaging all your followers and a bunch of non-followers as well. Then there's YouTubing, podcasts, blogs. These are a little bit more automated because instead of being buried like content on social media, YouTube and podcasts and blogs are searchable. So it can be created 2 years prior and someone can still find that content. And then finally, the most automated version is paid ads. You can create one paid ad one time and you can run that same exact ad as long as it works for years and years. Then there's the lead nurture system. So on one end of the spectrum, you have Instagram DMs, personal emails, that's one-to-one outreach. Then you have social media, again, one to all of your audience, you're nurturing them. Then you have email broadcast. And then finally, the most automated version are email sequences. Again, you can post on social media, there's nothing wrong with that, but just realize that if you're posting on social media and you're nurturing your audience in that way, you can do the same exact thing in a more automated version if you decided to create an email sequence. And then finally, the lead conversion system. On one end, you have sales calls. You're spending all of your time talking to one person at a time, one lead at a time to get them to buy. Then you have Instagram DMs. It takes a little bit less time and it's not scheduled. Then you have a sales team. Other people are spending their time getting the sale, not you, but there's still a headache and you have to manage your sales team. And then there's a sales page where you basically bottle up the sales conversation that you have on a sales call, but your leads are going to that sales page. They don't talk to you and they buy straight from the sales page. The beautiful thing about the automation spectrum is that everyone is going to have their preference on how manual or automated their sales process is. For example, maybe you love taking sales calls, or maybe you just want higher conversions and you're willing to hop on a couple sales calls. Well, that's totally fine. You're going to have a little bit more of a manual business. Maybe you don't want to do any sales calls, or maybe you don't want to have any one-on-one clients. You want everything to be fully automated. Well, that's way up here. And there's cons to having fully automated businesses, right? If you have a 100% fully automated business, you don't have the feedback or the pulse on your funnel that you do if you are hopping on a sales call. So if there's something that's wrong, something that's off, or if your costs spike for some random reason, it's harder to troubleshoot and to understand why something's not working. And so you're going to find your sweet spot, your place in the automation spectrum where your business feels good to you and you're also able to grow it without sacrificing your time. One of the things that really helped me in my online course journey was to visualize the path to hit $1 million in course sales. For some reason, $1 million when I first started felt completely unattainable. But when I started to break down what that actually meant, it started to feel a little bit more possible. So I want to share that with you because I want to expand your mind and help you understand that something like $1 million online course business isn't actually so unattainable for you after all. So if you have everyone pay you in full, in order to hit $1 million in sales with a $500 course, you need 2,000 students. And you can start to see why low ticket is kind of a hard business to be in because you need to have so many people buying from you. But then as you increase your course price, $1,000, you only need 1,000 students to hit $1 million in sales. A $2,000 course, you only need 500 students to hit $1 million in sales. And then so on and so forth, all the way down to $5,000 course price. You only need 200 students and you have $1 million in sales. It's kind of mind-blowing. Now let's say instead of in full payments, everyone is paying you on a 12-month payment plan. This is where hitting $1 million in course sales starts to feel extremely possible and realistic, at least for me in my experience. Because if you have a $200 a month payment plan for a premium online course, you only need 400 students to hit $1 million over that 12-month period. If you have a $350 payment plan for 12 months, You only need 240 people to purchase your online course in over 12 months. You're going to collect $1 million in course sales. So I don't know if you feel the same way, but for me, when I see these numbers, everything starts to feel extremely possible. So I'm going to wrap up this video with an invitation for you. If you want to launch your own premium online course and build all of the marketing systems so that you can sell that course on autopilot, then I highly consider that you look into my flagship program, Launch 1M. It is a step-by-step system to help you launch, automate, and scale a premium online course that sells on autopilot. I've had hundreds of entrepreneurs enter the program feeling stuck, feeling like they're trading time for money, and leave the program feeling like they have a business that they know how to scale. They know what levers to pull in order to have really profitable ads. If you are ready to stop trading time for money, you want to create your online course, you want to create an online business that feels good and that allows you to prioritize the things that you love and to spend your time with the people that you love, then I would love to have you inside of my Launch 1M program. There's a whole community of us that are waiting for you on the other side of that exciting decision to join. But next steps for you, if you want to learn more about it, I just recommend that you check out my free 4-part video series. I'll be emailing it to you over the course of the next few days. There is a link inside of that first email when you find it in your inbox where you could binge the video series. So if you wanted to watch all of the videos back to back to back, you have the option, or you can just choose to get it one day at a time drip to you, whatever works for you. So I highly recommend that you check out that 4-part video series, and I will see you inside of Launch 1M.